Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. We are now in the final match between GoogleFrog and Numbers. This is going to be a best of 5. Oh, we're now in IRC chat. Wait, no, that's actually 5 seconds ago. But, okay, this is just a mistake. But yeah, we are in the best of 5 finals between Numbers and GoogleFrog. Numbers is getting the first pick of the map, and GoogleFrog is going to be getting the... well, pick if he loses, if he wins, then Numbers keeps getting picks. So, both players are ready. Waiting, I'm not sure what the map is yet. So check. Yeah, it looks like the map will be Imperium. This is a map we've seen very frequently, pretty much the first map in almost every game involving GoogleFrog. And this will be, once again, it's still the same map as was before, small, icy, and cold as hell. But it is a definitely popular map. Very small, very easy to set up on, and offers a lot of resource tension and a lot of position tension. We've seen a lot of crazy strategies going around, especially revolving around building outside of one's main base and just cleverly taking expansions. And we've seen a lot of strategies that involved more direct assaults that ended fairly quickly, even some all-ins that really ended quickly. But it's been definitely a mainstay map of the tournament, very popular. A lot of people have been picking it, and we'll see it once again before the tournament's out. And I'm not sure if we're going to be starting the games anytime soon. Just double check. So the game has been posted, just waiting for the players to come in, and we will be starting shortly. So in case you don't remember, Numbers is a bit of a newer player. He's very fond of Vecgir, has done a very good job with setting up his reputation very quickly, doing a lot of mass gaming, especially on hills, but he did choose his map of Imperium, so apparently he's comfortable with it too. His game plan is pretty heavy on defense, or at least very effective on defense. However, he's been doing a lot of various strategies, not just sticking to trying to defend. He's been doing a lot of attacking, he's been doing a lot of... He's very skilled at defense, but he is also good at knowing when to attack and how to attack. So he will be... I mean, not always, of course, it's a matter of experience, figuring out exactly when you can attack, but he knows it well enough to be able to be effective. GoogleFrog, on the other hand, like I mentioned before, is a very experienced player, has been playing this game for a very long time, mostly plays CISO, but has been playing Vecgir the last couple of matches. In his match against Schalke, just in the semifinals, he was playing Vecgir, and he also played Vecgir in his last match against Torben, though he did win his CISO in that match, so I'm not sure exactly what his pattern is, if he just wants to go for CISO Vecgir, or if he's planning to play CISO, and if it doesn't go super well, play Vecgir, although he did win against Torben in the first CISO match, so I don't know exactly what his motivation is, but he does like to play Vecgir as well as CISO, it seems, while Numbers is a pure diehard Vecgir player. I have never seen him play any other race, but if we do see him play another race, I'd be very surprised. This is the tournament finals. Very bad time to go off race, especially against someone like GoogleFrog, who is a beast of a player, has been playing for a long time, has a very known reputation for being a strong player. He won the first alpha tournament back when the game was an alpha, and he is looking like he wants to win the second beta tournament, the Temporal Anomalies tournament, Season 1. And Numbers is going to have a tough fight ahead of him. GoogleFrog probably really wants this. So Numbers, of course, I'm sure, really wants this too. Both players wanting this badly. The prize is actually just a copy of Achron. It's the Achron prize, the redundancy prize. Yeah, no, it's a copy of Achron to give to a friend. I think there's actually 2 copies of Achron, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's just 1. So yeah, you get a copy of Achron to give to a friend if you win. And also bragging rights that you won a tournament, or in GoogleFrog's case, that he won 2 tournaments throughout the course of the game. And that will be, once this is done, that will be the Temporal Anomalies tournament. We'll, like I said, have Season 2 starting sometime in early October. And Sonos will be starting. We'll have everything set up for that. It'll be a lot better organized. We'll probably end up having games all cast from replays, And I'm also planning on I've ordered a better computer, so we won't have to do the soft puppet casting that you see right now, where I'm basically telling Merovingian where to look. Merovingian, thank you very much, very, very, very much. I'm greatly appreciative of Merovingian's help. He's the other tournament organizer, he's the main tournament organizer, but he's also been helping out a lot with the casting. He's the one who's been the observer this entire time, and I really appreciate that because I have not been able to get XSplit to work properly on my machine. It's fairly old. It only has a 256 megabyte video card, and as you may have guessed, yeah, it basically chokes. So I can't really stream Achron directly yet, but fingers crossed next week my computer parts will come in, build it up, get it going, and then we'll have, for Season 2, much smoother casts. All the games are likely to be played outside of live times. We're not 100% sure about this. We've been discussing this, and it may be easier to organize to have games as replays, so expect to see more replays in the Season 2 tournament, and expect to see more games, hopefully, too. We're not sure how. I mean, hopefully a lot of people will be coming into this game. There's been a lot of buzz about this game, especially recently, but I'm not sure how many people have actually gone into it. A lot of new people have been streaming into the RC channel over time, and I'm sure there are other communities that have been forming up. GameReplays.org, for anyone familiar with them, has recently started up a community, and they'll start their portal for Achron, which is very exciting. My old home site, and now my new home site again, I guess, because I'm a commentator there too. So we have GameReplays.org helping out, and we have probably other sites as well that I don't know about. I've seen, for my YouTube videos, lots of various sites that have been coming in. There have been posts on Kotaku, posts on RPS. So there's been buzz about this game. I'm not sure exactly how many people are really interested. It seems like most people either really like the idea or really hate the idea, like, especially the graphic stuff. So hopefully, though, it'll go really well, and we'll get a lot more players and get a much smoother tournament going. And I look forward to that. Should be a lot better. So we're just waiting for the final start. Just double check what's going on while it's taking a while. Apparently, it actually turns out, that one of the main developers, Dr. Chris Hazard, is going to be observing this game along with Merovingian. Not with me. I'm just going off the stream. And this will be a interesting setup. So I did not expect this exactly to happen, but yeah. So Merovingian and Hazard on the OBS side, while GoogleFrog and Numbers duke it out for complete dominance in the finals match. And here we start. So we're just waiting for Hazard to load. And once that comes up, we will start the game. Numbers and GoogleFrog are in the game. Once again, this is Imperium, a small, icy little pit that everyone loves to play on because it's a nice little small, quick map. I do quite like the map idea. I've not played it a whole lot, but I have seen it played a lot, and it does work pretty well for games. And the game has begun! So we have Numbers in the top right corner as player 1, and GoogleFrog in the bottom left corner, quickly choosing Vecgir once again. So he is pretty committed to Vecgir. Numbers, on the other hand, has not chosen this race, but 99% chance he's choosing Vecgir, so this will be a Vecgir mirror. Yes, there we go, Vecgir mirror. So Vecgir versus Vecgir for the first final match between Numbers and GoogleFrog. Who is the better Vecgir? Who's the better master of teleportation and bipedal alien, for anyone who's played the campaign? Yeah, that's really how they're referred to in the first campaign, and possibly, well, the second they get the name, but the first campaign there's bipeds. Greckham are squids. Isn't that fun? But anyway, Vecgir. So Vecgir versus Vecgir. Who is the better Vecgir? Anyway, Numbers sending out his Shin and Teth beer. Actually sending out his Zion beer as well. From looks like sending it south. Looks like he's trying to get an expansion after getting a bunch of RPs in his main. He hasn't built a foundation yet, and it's getting pretty close to the normal timing, although we are ahead of when they actually are looking. So when they actually are looking, it looks like both players are... No, it looks like the Zion beer is staying inside the base, while GoogleFrog is committed to staying inside his base. He hasn't scouted out yet. He tends to go by hearing, so he doesn't... And obviously the position isn't huge, but he tends to go by hearing to scout out more than he goes by actually looking at his opponent's base. He won't know exactly what Numbers is doing, but I'm sure he knows Numbers always plays Vecgir, and the Vecgir common strategy is to build a depot right on now. So And Numbers is. So he would be, if he's guessing, he'd be guessing right. And GoogleFrog isn't, but he is further back in time. He's probably jumped back to build that up. While Vecgir are really good at setting up their base, they aren't that great at expanding, which is what it seems like GoogleFrog is trying to, or Numbers is trying to, no, GoogleFrog I think was the one in the west. Anyway, the center-west expansion, there is someone trying to quickly expand there, which may not be the best idea. It can work. Schalke showed us it can work, but it's really risky to try to pull off, and it looks like Numbers has seen GoogleFrog. He knows GoogleFrog now is definitely going for Vecgir. He knows, he didn't know at first, but he knows now that GoogleFrog is building a second foundation, but hasn't built a depot on it yet. He has built a depot about a minute down from when Numbers is looking, but he hasn't built a depot when Numbers sees it, so Numbers will, in the third iteration, see what's going on once the green time wave passes, but Numbers already had his depot out. So GoogleFrog getting his depot a bit later than Numbers, actually getting it quite late, about a minute later than he normally does. And Zion Pulsar coming very quickly. Zion Gear was already built. It looks like the spare infantry has been built as well. So Zion Pulsar will be able to obliterate Numbers. Numbers' infantry is dead. However, from Numbers' point of view, it's a bit different. But Numbers is sending down his own Zion Pulsars. So Numbers, back at his time, about a minute up from where GoogleFrog is, has his own Zion Pulsars in the base. But GoogleFrog, at the present, is going to be able to defend against this once it comes down, at least fairly effectively. He doesn't have auto defense, though, so all he has is the Zion Pulsar versus Zion Pulsar. And Zion Pulsar is teleporting in from Numbers that will be hitting right on now. And that is going to be Zion Pulsar versus Zion Pulsar battles. And Zion Pulsar is going to be actually dealing a lot of damage. Numbers' point of view, we know he's dealt a lot of damage. From GoogleFrog's point of view, I doubt it's been quite as much. GoogleFrog, I'm sure, has a chance to defend. And the fight is going on from Numbers' point of view. Numbers will be barely losing, but Numbers will be able to take out that Zion Pulsar. No, Zion Veer, no. But from GoogleFrog's point of view, Zion Pulsar has managed to get rid of some of the infantry, but Numbers will have the disadvantage. He is fighting infantry, not the Zion Pulsar. The Zion Pulsar is the damage dealer, so Numbers' Zion Pulsar will be having to escape, teleporting away very quickly, following actually one of GoogleFrog's forces. No, was going to follow the expansion, but didn't. GoogleFrog is able to successfully expand to the west side of the map, so this is one of the hard parts for Vecgir to do, is actually get an expansion secure, but rushing is one of the easy parts for Vecgir to do, sorry. Vecgir's great at rushing, but has a difficult time to secure an expansion because of the cost of foundations and other buildings, and the fact that units are fairly expensive to start out cost. However, they also don't really need to expand that quickly most of the time. Maps in general are made such that you don't have to, otherwise it would cause a race imbalance. So, not a big deal. And GoogleFrog is trying to teleport around, trying to figure out where Numbers is. He would know now, but he's just going straight for Numbers' base, forgetting the Zion Pulsar in his own base, going straight to Numbers, and Numbers has a second Zion Pulsar coming into GoogleFrog's base. GoogleFrog is going to be well aware of this. He's focusing about this time, actually focusing slightly before this time. We're slightly ahead of where GoogleFrog is, I think. Or for, no, we are slightly ahead. Now we're synced with GoogleFrog. So, looks like GoogleFrog is actually getting a lot of, yeah, he's getting a lot of lag apparently. So we might be pausing in a couple seconds, but he is able to, no, that was Numbers able to rebuild some of his infantry. And once that happens, so Melvin is probably going to pause the game, and then we will hopefully have no more lag from there. Or it looks like Hazard is worried about actually being connected. So anyway, we might have a, well, it doesn't really matter. We will hopefully get this sorted out pretty quickly, and once that happens, we will be good. So pause the game and just figure out what to do from here on out, because GoogleFrog's having some lag problems. And once this happens, in case you're wondering, there is actually a fairly high bandwidth rate to the observers. It shouldn't be too high. I've done everything I can to make it more efficient, but the observers do have a fairly high bandwidth cost. I've been playing around with this. I should be able... Oh, never mind. Marvel is 2 megabytes up, so it should be fine. But the other players are... So, GoogleFrog is the only one having lag. He's in Australia. Numbers is in BC, while Merrill is the host in California. So we shouldn't have too bad lag problems, but we are having